Today, we are joined by an absolutely fantastic guest. His name is Hansi Kürsch. He's the lead vocalist of Blind Guardian, one of the most renowned power metal bands of all time. And we're not just chatting for fun. He is coming here with his band to Charlotte, North Carolina on November 22nd. It's a Saturday, so we're really blessed to have them here on the weekend. So Hansi, how are you doing today?
Nathaniel, great to be on the show. I'm doing good. It's a big blast for us to come back to the US and especially to Charlotte. And it's a Saturday night show. You know what they're saying about Saturday night shows? They're extremely wild.
Yeah, and we're definitely expecting that from you guys. So your tour kicks off next week. You guys are going to Florida, and then you're going to doing the whole rounds around across the whole continent.
Right.
What are you excited for? What are kind of the nerves you're getting out ahead of this tour?
Well, we've been touring with the God Machine for a long time, and we already hit North America once. So this is a second run. And we are promoting not the God Machine album, but decided to go for an epic album called Somewhere Far Beyond. It's from 1992, so that's a few years. And I think people are excited about it. We're excited about it. We never played it in the US in its entirety, so that's for the first time. And I'm quite curious to see how people will react on it. Of course, the album has made its impact even in the US, but you have to see that our breakthrough in the US came a bit later, more than 10 years. So I think the first regular album released was Night at the Opera in 2002. So that's kind of an old album, but I suppose still a fresh album. We have had great fun with it in Europe, and I'm expecting pretty much the same in the US and in Canada. Well, touring US is an adventure always for us.
Awesome. So I definitely was going to ask what the set list was going to be like, but it sounds like you're promoting Somewhere From Beyond. What was the kind of the idea for promoting this album 33 years after it came out?
Well, we did it as an anniversary touring run in Europe like 3 years ago. And so the album is still fresh for us, and we were wondering what we could supply to the American fans to make it very special to them as well, and especially to our most dedicated fans who, probably know the band for far longer and never had a chance to play this album. So that is one of the reasons for us to do so. It is still warm and yeah, always actual. It never lost its excitement, neither on our side nor on the side of the fans. And yeah, we'll see how that turns out on the other side of the pond. But I'm quite confident that people are appreciating that. Of course, there are more classicals to be played. It's not only Somewhere Far Beyond, but a bunch of new songs and a bunch of the classical ones. So I'm pretty sure that the people will get a quite interesting evening.
Really cool. So do you guys get kind of a different response when you do something, some sort of an anniversary of your one of your more iconic albums versus when you're promoting something that just came out? Is there are fans a little more hyped? Do ticket sales come in a little more, or is it about the same for you guys, no matter what type of tour you're doing?
Right now, it looks pretty much the same. Ticket sales are good, but we're also having a very strong package with how I would call it Ensiferum and Seven Kingdoms. So that helps as well. For us, usually the difference is not that big. It's more for the sensation and for us to relax a bit and to have something we might be more in control, when playing a new album like The God Machine or more complex albums like Beyond the Red Mirror. It is a challenge to play and feature these songs in the first time. But with Somewhere Far Beyond, of course, there is a lot of expertise, a lot of experience. Then we did a second run in terms of re-recording it, like also 3 years ago. So the album is quite fresh for us, and therefore, of course, pretty doable for us, which is also very important. From the reaction, I would say, yeah, it is a fan pleaser, of course, but it also contains some songs which do not naturally deliver sing-alongs. So people are more focused on us. I'm talking about songs like Black Chamber or Theater of Pain, which we barely ever play live usually, if it's not in such a setup. And yeah, therefore, it's pretty much the same sensation. I would think people are singing along with us. Of course, the classical song, the Bath song, is from this album. We, more or less play that every night, so or so. And there is not for much for me to do when we play this song, and no matter where. So that is highly expected. For the rest, it's going to be a roller coaster ride. It's a very intense album, and people will sing along. But as said, we're pretty much in control in any case. So that would not create problems if people prefer to just listen and admire the songs. That's fine for us as well.
Really awesome. And if there's any power metal show you're going to want to check out, it's probably this one. We got three really awesome bands on this lineup coming up. So I'm wondering, as a band, I'm sure you start in a garage somewhere, you start in a basement somewhere, just hoping that someday someone will listen to these songs. And then here we are 30, 40 years later after you guys have first started it all. You're one of the most legendary power metal bands of all time. So I'm wondering from your perspective, who's someone who's been in this band since it started, what does it feel like to be able to tour the world literally with the music that you've created?
It's as you said, it's a dream come true for sure, and this is what we started with, the vision or the dream of a band which will break through without having an exact idea what that would mean. In our case, things went slowly, but always into the right direction, so it was easy for us to keep up. We were confident, I have to say. There was not a discussion that we would not make it. We didn't have a plan B. But seeing that things come to life and seeing that even after 40 years, people still appreciate what we did, in the early 80s, is kind of very, very satisfying for us. And we feel blessed and gifted, of course. It is still, even though we had the confidence, it's nothing we take for granted. So we are working on it every day, and we try to rock it each and every night, which is sometimes very difficult because, of course, you go to temples and your physical condition is not always perfect on tour. But once a show starts, this doesn't mean anything. We just want to please the people. And I have the feeling that this also helped us being on the road for so long.
Awesome. And I think to anyone in the US, when you hear about a German band starting in the 1980s, I think our first thought is, just the ramifications of all the political stuff that was going on at the time. So I'm wondering, what was the vibe like is in like the rock bands? I mean, I know you guys weren't the first rock band to come out of Germany to make it really huge, but what were kind of the what was it like growing up around what we call the Cold War over here and the Berlin Wall and falling out over that? Any interesting
It,
memories from that time?
it was an exciting time, I have to say. I mean, first of all, the second new wave of British heavy metal came up, and we joined that movement. So our focus was pretty much on music and on the scene. And it was a big scene and a very vivid and lively scene, joyful scene as well. So this definitely helped us, always having a good mood. But even though the Cold War was running and the war was still standing, um, it was a time of hope. I would not even be able to explain exactly. Of course, there was desperation, but yeah, people were really, really considering things would turn to the better. And that, of course, helped, especially in the late 90s, then when the wall came down and everyone saw that this became a reality. Things became even more exciting in the 90s. That was musically our heydays. And I think also from the atmosphere, people all believed that now, that the worst would lay behind us. What, no one would expect it to, a return of things like they were in Cold War. That was not in our minds at all. So it was a very vivid time, a very cool time. We partied a lot. Of course, we were younger. Music was the main thing, and everything else came second. That's for sure.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad everything worked out for you guys and the whole country and everything. So it was a little later that you went on your first North American tour. I believe it was in 2003 was your first North American tour. I'm wondering any interesting memories from then and over the years, over the last 20 years that you guys have toured North America. Any really cool memories about visiting the place for the first time?
Well, I have to say, the mood and the understanding of the US fans in particular has changed a lot. When we came in 2002, it was more like people were expecting us to do the whole work. And that was kind of okay, but we were not used to because usually wherever we played, people were getting into it directly and became a vital part. So that was not so much the case on the first US tour. But things evolved quickly and into a perfect direction. So nowadays, I think the way a US show, for example, works is most dedicated by the fans and has the most cheerful atmospheres we could wish for. So that's the impression I have and how the whole thing evolved for us. Also, we recognized when we toured the US in 2002 that because of the competition, of course, there were many, many bands touring. It was far more difficult to get from A to B and, just to survive a tour. It was maybe, important for us to claim mastership, to become musicians in entertaining people and in, living with circumstances which drove us back at least into our demo days, maybe. When we played shows in Germany in the mid 80s, of course, everything was very rock and rollish. But ever since things built up and we were used to a certain stand up and coming to the US in 2002 was like going a bit back to the roots. And that was a very healthy and still also painful experience. Then what I mean, were also struggling with was the size of the country. It's a continent. It's more like this. If you toured Europe, everything is quite narrow and yeah, basically, even though there are different cultures, everything is quite common and known to us or was known at that point already. While getting to the US was, like really not a culture shock, but it was something different, and we totally appreciated that. Um, and ever since playing in the US and Canada is like, one of the peak points of each and every touring cycle because it's an adventure. It stays an adventure. Things are still not for granted always, and things are a bit more demanding for us. And we need that and we like that.
Awesome. Really cool to get your perspective on that. A little more on the history of the band, I'm wondering. So you started off as the vocalist and the bassist. Obviously, nowadays you're mainly the vocalist. Wondering what was the decision a while back to kind of ditch the four string and solo focus solely on your vocals. And do you ever miss being on stage playing the bass?
I missed playing the bass, especially in the beginning, which I did not expect because playing the bass was always a difficulty, especially ever since Imaginations from the Other Side. That was also the case when I decided, well, on the next album, I don't want to play the bass and I don't want to play the bass on stage. So we hired Oliver Holzwarth as a guest bassist, who was a far better bassist than I. So we could add some quality uh, to the bass itself. And it was not musically lacking when we were playing live, which was the case on Imaginations, I felt, because I was more focusing on the vocals. And ever since this is what I did, I kept my whole, my whole everything on the vocals and never regretted it. But when joining the stage for Nightfall in Middle Earth, and not having a lot of time to prepare for these shows, I was on stage without the bass, and that felt bizarre. I felt naked. I didn't know what to do with my hands. I didn't know what to do in terms of movements because we were like a typical power speed metal band of this age, where everyone was playing an instrument, and we were that wall of sound and that wall of appearance, standing on stage. And then all of a sudden, I was there, without anything in hand. So I had to work on that. It took me, I would say, good 4 years when we then came back with Night at the Opera, and later on, I felt more and more comfortable, and I don't want to miss it right now. But in the beginning, it was a challenge. I cannot say anything else.
Got it. I play bass and sing mostly in my bedroom to my cat, but I can relate that when you're not holding the instrument, it's definitely a lot weirder trying to sing. But you've obviously done well for yourself over the last 30 years, so glad you
Yeah.
were able to adjust. Um,
Exactly. I mean, it's so long ago. Now I don't even think about it. And I still, have the feeling if I were to play the bass on stage, it would lag a lot because the patterns became even more complicated and there wouldn't be a chance I could follow up both in on the same level. There are a handful of good bassists who could do so, but I do not count myself to it.
got it. Yeah. So you're able to adjust to the change though, and that's good.
Right.
Something that also that has changed a lot in music over the last couple decades is the way people listen to it. Obviously, when you
Mhm.
guys were first out, it was vinyl records, cassettes, CDs were in their infancy, right? Nowadays, it's all streaming. And when I look at Spotify, your top songs have 51 million views, 21 million views. That sounds really cool to say out loud, but a lot of artists are have been vocal over the years about streaming's kind of hurting bands. I'm wondering if does Blind Guardian or yourself have kind of a take on how streaming has impacted music? Do you wish we could go back to the way things were, or has it helped you guys? What is your opinion?
I still prefer vinyl and CDs when I listen to music. I have given up my resistance against streaming because it is a reality everyone has to live with. The quality became better. There are streaming services which try to please the artist a bit more. Of course, I would prefer such. And they also have a higher quality in streaming, usually in the quality of the music and the sound, therefore. But I have to say, after the first shock and after seeing what it means in numbers, and yeah, I mean, everyone has heard it, that one click is like 0.0045 whatever cent. So it's not a lot. And you need a lot of million clicks to make decent money. And most bands are not there, of course. We are on a good way, of course, but what is effect on the other side? You have a constant income. So once you have a following and people are listening to it, you get paid by each and every listen. While if someone buys CD or vinyl, you just got the pay once, and therefore the difference is not as drastic as it felt in the beginning. Because when you got your first statement, it was a shock, I have to say. But now, by seeing that, people are listening constantly to the stuff, and you get your share monthly or all 6 months, that makes a difference. Still, it does not really make up in terms of a financial balance in comparison, but it is good enough to survive. And of course, a band like Blind Guardian also depends on merchandising, it depends on publishing, it depends on the live show itself. So all in all, I have to say that it's still possible to make a living with music, but especially for young bands, because of streaming, it became more difficult. But since young bands usually have a better expertise on social media, they probably have a better idea how to use that.
Really cool. Well, I'm glad you're able to have a fresh take on it, and it's kind of helped you guys out a little bit. So we're coming up on 2026, which will be 4 years since your last album came out. So I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, a lot of fans are wondering, any plans for a next Blind Guardian album, and what can we expect from it, if so?
The last years were very difficult for us, so we did not really pay a lot of attention and effort to come up with new songs, but we were struggling to do all the shows we have had on our backs. This US and Canada tour is the last tour we're going to play. Our focus on new songs will be in 2026. From my experience, I would think we might be able to accomplish all new songs in that year. So people should expect a new album in 2027, which means another 5 years coming from the God Machine. But that's quality, and yeah, what where the journey goes, I do not know. I still feel that we have the freshness of the tour in our minds, and also we all felt very confident and satisfied with the music on the God Machine. So I'm almost confident that we are going this road further down. But sometimes, by the most bizarre circumstances, things change, and then yeah, then we changed into folkloristic or classical stuff again. This is a bit open at the moment, but yeah, count on a new album in 2027.
Awesome. And you said the last few years have been rough for you guys. I'm sorry to hear that. Anything particular that's made those last
No,
few
no,
years rough?
not at all. I mean, of course, we have toured a lot and more than expected. So all positive things, nothing bad, but it took us far longer and it was more excessive than usually. And yeah, that I can feel. I'm quite happy when this year is over and we keep our focus on the songwriting, and can find some relaxation to gain strength again. Because, when we started touring in, I think it was in 2023, maybe 2022, I cannot say exactly. I did not expect us to be on the road for so long. So that was the only thing which really was demanding. And being at home for, like, let's say 6 weeks or so in between two runs of a tour doesn't mean that you really recover fully. So everything is pretty much focused on the next shows. That's all we are heading for and all we are aiming for, to make sure they are going to happen. And in our case, it was never possible to find a gap big enough to really get ourselves into the shape of songwriting, because we need to be in the mood. We need to be, yeah, in the spirit of, creating something new. While now we're just so focused on um, improving the songs as we are playing them live.
Got it. Got it. Well, hopefully once you get to the end of this tour, you're able to just relax as much as you need to, and then
Uh,
hit it hard running for a new album in
Hopes are
2027.
high.
Yeah.
Hopes are very high, I can
But
tell
but
you.
But of course, you do have one stop here that you have to make November 22nd and at the Underground here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and we're so looking forward to it. You and the other
Really.
two great bands that are on the bill. Hansi, any last final words? Any last things that we didn't touch on that you'd like to promote, or anything you'd like to get out there to the people?
Don't miss the chance. That's the main message right now. We will be there for just a short moment in December and November. So make sure you see us. It's going to take a while until we hit the road again. So better take your chances now.
Yep, with the way things are going, bands are coming over here just about as much as they can, but you don't want to work them out. You don't want to work them too hard, right? I mean, you just heard Hansi say it that they're a little tired. Well, not I don't want to say tired, but they've been on the road for a while and they want to be out there making new awesome music for you guys. So
That's more important than
check them
anything.
out while they're around. You don't know when they'll be back again. Hopefully soon, but definitely we know they're here this month, so it would be awesome to check them out. So, Hansi from Blind Guardian, thank you so much for taking the
Pleasure.
time to talk with me today. It was
Thank you.
awesome to learn about the history of the band and just what you guys have prepared for us. So, thank you so much for talking with us today.
Thanks a lot, Nathaniel. Maybe we see each other in Charlotte. That
Yeah,
would
for
be nice.
sure. I definitely submitted a photo pass to cover that show, so hopefully I get in, and I'll be right there shooting photos of you guys as you're
I'll keep
rocking
my
out
eyes
some of your
open.
best songs. Awesome. Well,
Right.
looking forward to it, and thank you.
Thank you.